being Filipino, I'm always approached by a lot of our friends from all over, and they always ask me, "Oh, you're Filipino? I love Don Papa rum and all this." And I've tasted Don Papa rums on separate occasions, but I never really got to do a full or a good range of tastings. So I decided I got 6 variants of Don Papa rum, and we're going to taste it right now. And I'm going to do it live. Give you comments of what the nuances are on why there's so much popularity, so many comments, well, controversy too, with this Philippine spirit. Okay, the Philippines is a world supplier of sugar. We do a lot of sugar planting, and of course, one of the offshoots, or um, one of the byproducts of sugar manufacturing is of course molasses, which can be turned into another beautiful product, which is Philippine rum. Well, so let's take a look at all these Don Papa rum variants. Basically, this Don Papa Classic is the rum that started the whole line. Okay, this is, almost a decade ago, this is the rum that started the whole line. And I'll be reviewing this first rum for tasting. This is made in the island of Negros, which is the center of sugar production. The distillation of this spirit is done by a reputable spirits producer of over a century of operation. It's Ginebra San Miguel. Okay, they are the suppliers of the raw alcohol that is made into this Don Papa rum. Rum is defined as the alcoholic spirit distilled from sugarcane or its byproducts, where this spirit is made out of. Okay, and the Philippines has been making rum for hundreds of years. Ever since we were a colony of Spain, we were already producing rum. And of this being made from the Philippine of these rums, the Philippine Center for Sugar Production is, of course, in the Negros area, where this rum is made. It's made in the center of where all the whole island has become, the economy has thrived, and the economy has gone around the production of sugar. And of course, when you have sugar, you have a byproduct, which is molasses, and you have rum. Okay, and its legitimacy as a rum defined is beyond question, because it really comes from sugar. In fact, having worked with this large company in a project before, I was able to acquire the barrel strength predecessors of Don Papa. I have these 2 little bottles, which are the predecessors of Don Papa rum. And I was asking them, when are they coming? No, this is a subcontracted product. And little did I know that it was Don Papa that was going to buy all these pre-processed spirits. And of course, there is another export rum made by San Miguel, but not of the distinction and the product, how would you call it? The premium product that is Don Papa in the market. The introduction of Don Papa rum in the past decade, like any other limited production spirit in the market, has generated a great multitude of praises. It has also generated a large number of criticisms because of the style. This, when you come up with the first variant, an innovative product, it's either people love it or some people don't like it. You can't satisfy all uh, levels and standards of taste. And when this first variant was introduced, that dared to be different from the other Philippine rums made in other sugar producing areas and other international rums also made in other producing areas or countries, this rum was different from the ones bottled by the its colonial predecessors or those that were consumed by their former colonial umbrellas. What I find interesting when recently beset by many non-Filipinos, especially Europeans and South Asians that I meet, is the topic steers into food, wine, and spirits. And in this connection, being Filipino, there is always the topic of rum, and particularly Don Papa rum. So I decided, I got these and acquired all these variants. Went to different liquor stores, went on the web and ordered, and do an independent tasting of all the variants that are out in the different markets. They have created niches. Many of the variants are niche products, and they have created niches of of different tastes of these rums from a how would you call it, a Filipino personality who has grown up, or who has grown up with Philippine rum. So I'm going to be giving you a Filipino perspective of my own. This is my opinion. You can disagree or agree, but it's basically just my opinion. So let's start with the tasting of the first classic Don Papa rum. This is the rum that started it all. Okay, and it's basically an aged rum, and wow, just opening the cork immediately, there's already a release of aromas, all that. So let's try it. Just drop of water just to get the spirit started. What you're getting is just a huge bombardment of fruit. Lots of fruit, fresh orange, dried apricots, preserved orange, like dried oranges. Mid flavors of coconut, like many Caribbean rums that showcase raw sugar, triacle, molasses characters, or the premium barrel rums with distinct woody, smoky, or vanilla notes. This thing is a little different. Okay, a bit too sweet on the first layer if you are used to the drier rums. Okay, the first layer of flavor, it's a bit too sweet, but you also have to understand that you're getting a heavy bombardment of fruit. This Don Papa Classic seems to show fruit and candy notes with a creamy palate. It's a democratic choice for those who want to begin explorations in rum appreciation, especially of this style, because this is really quite an innovative style. I believe it's a casual sipping spirit. I think can be enjoyed on the rocks. Would be nice, enjoyed on the rocks. And I believe that it would be a great unflavored soda mixer, and would be a delightful introduction into holiday eggnog or sauteed caramelized fruit. in sugar, like bananas Foster, mango Jubilee. I think this rum would be quite good. Okay, so there's our classic, and I would say it would leave a lot of controversial opinions, but I do believe that the classic itself, the rum itself, is really a product that would be very good for those who are newbies in rum appreciation. Okay, let's try the next variant. Okay, this is the barrel age or 10-year-old Don Papa rum. As you can see already from the classic, this barrel age Don Papa rum is the darker sibling of the classic. You can see the viscosity, the thickness. A lot of the water has already escaped through the wood and has imbibed a lot of the wood character of this rum. Definitely not a fully fruit-driven nose. Definitely. Because of its aging in a recharred oak cask, it took on the color, and you got a preliminary aroma of mocha cream, and with its longer aging brings out aromas of nutmeg, a lot of the terpenes coming from the wood, cloves. These are preliminary aromas with the secondary aromas of bananas cooked in caramelized sugar. Bananas Foster, not as sweet as the classic. Not as sweet on the preliminary palate. But there is an abundance of dried and fresh fruit like apricots, pineapple, sultanas, with hints of sweet brown tamarind. There's a mid-palate again of candy. Spicy bubblegum shows up from probably the very violent fermentation. So there is diacetyl created in the process of the rum making. So quite interesting. The finish is long. Aside from a sipping rum and digestive, you have it at the end of a dinner, a good cigar or some relaxing or contemplative time with a pipe or a cigar will be most enjoyable. Now, let's try another variant. Let's try the Mascara edition. And because this rum is made in the island of Negros, okay, and Negros is Sugarlandia, okay, the origins of Don Papa is Sugarlandia. So it became an avid supporter of cultural events such as the Mascara Festival, where people come in and they have all these wonderful and beautiful masks. Okay? And based on the reviews of this edition, it seems as though this is a preferred variant of women, especially those who have been introduced to the classic and 10-year-old editions. Okay? Let's try it. Why is this such a favorite among women? Okay, you can see how beautiful the label is, the design, really speaks of the Filipino festival called the Mascara Festival, which is a festival in Negros, okay, where it's made. And this particular rum is pot stilled. And this particular rum, surprisingly, has an infusion of our Philippine lemon called calamansi and siling labuyo, which are the very small dwarf chilies that are the favorite condiments of the people, the Negrenses and the Visayans. Okay, this is a favorite condiment, So they decided it should go into the flavor of the rum. Okay. Once the rum production has ensued, okay, there is an infusion of calamansi and siling labuyo. Quite a very unique process because it really creates, an outstanding aroma. The aromas of anisette, orange marmalade, upside down pound cake. Upside down pound cake. You can say I'm wrong or you can say I'm right, but yeah, I've this is quite surprising. That pound cake, you can smell the caramelized pineapple and the sugared caramelized cherries. Okay, the infused chilies do not come out as heat on the palate. I would say the infused chilies are very subtle, only a tinge of the spiciness. There's no really chili heat. The texture is quite light, medium textured as compared to the 10-year-old and as compared to the classic Don Papa. This is a bit lighter than the classic and the 10-year-old. There are sweet flavors, okay? Sweet flavors of green mandarin. There's a light earthy note and a note of unlit tobacco, unlit tobacco and fenugreek. Okay, there are secondary and tertiary aromas and flavors of cocoa nibs, washed sugar, and vanilla custard. Because there's that creaminess that ends in your palate. And so now I'm not surprised why this is a favorite of the farms. This is a real favorite of the ladies, and it's delicious whether you take it neat with a drop of water or probably iced. And because of its lighter texture, this particularly rum is made for shots. During a festival when everybody's dancing, there's a lot of music on the streets. You take, quick shots of this. Take to its complexity, wonderful aroma. Okay. I'm still looking for the chili heat, and there's really not much of the chili heat. Although the infusion of chilies really brings out a subtle flavor or aroma of chili, of capsicum, and only, just creates a nice, light, warmth on the palate. There is a dried fruit finish. The earthiness of Chinese dried plums. In the Philippines, they call it champoy. Great for shooters. Really great for just shooters and soda-based cocktails. Okay, so I can now understand why this is such a favorite among the ladies. Okay, so this is the Mascara edition. Now, let's go to the recent variants that have really tickled my curiosity and quite interesting. There are a lot of complex aging techniques that have been employed. Let's take, for example, this edition. This is the Sevillana cask. And this is quite interesting because the rum is placed in Sevillana wine casks. Okay, what are the Sevillana what is a Sevillana wine? It's a white wine that is infused with the peel of Sevillana oranges and then placed in the barrels for um, for of course the absorption of the characters of the barrel, and at the same time a light degree of oxidation. This particular edition, supposedly, I read up on it, um, celebrates the Manila Acapulco trade. And the first release of this rum was only 60 bottles. I guess they've released a little more now, but the first release of the rum was 60 bottles. And I was able to find part of that first release. This was this is of course initially matured, which I guess is a standard for Don Papa. This is initially matured in American oak, particularly ex bourbon cask. This was then transferred to Oloroso sherry casks, and then the third barreling was the Andalusian Vino de Naranja or Seville wines, made by steeping the wine into these barrels where they make the Vino de Naranja wines. So you got a reddish color on this Sevillana oak cask. Okay? So little. Okay, you have aromas of sweet cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, really sweet wood spices. And again, a beautiful aroma of Spanish custard. I mean, the type of custard that you infuse with brandy or with wine, sabayon, and also eggnog, which is basically a custard type of beverage, and a final aroma of a top bottom aroma of dried apricots. Yeah, quite interesting. This particular rum is now even drier than the three first variations that we've had: the classic Don Papa, the 10-year-old cask, and the Mascara. This particular rum, very abundant in fruit. And not only abundant in fruit, but also in cooked fruit like jams. And you have a lot of apricot jelly, orange marmalade, and the scent of fresh green mandarin peel. With these flavors, there's a bitter orange green mandarin peel. You get whiffs of gentle, sweet wood spices, hints of wood spices like clove, nutmeg, cinnamon. Travels to your palate and nose, probably from the used Oloroso and the Andalusian Vino de Naranja barrels. This is a great sipping rum for those who prefer their rums drier, with only a light tad of sweetness. I really wouldn't mind it if, this can be found inside liquor-filled chocolates or fruit-filled crepes. This will highlight the spiciness of the shorter or slimmer cigars too. When you're smoking a cigar, the dryness and the citrusy peel characters will really highlight a short smoke. No? And it will also highlight the spiciness, the pepperiness of the thicker maduros, and even the shorter stogies. Okay, these are all how do you call it? A great sipping rum for those who like the rums really drier. Okay, So let's move on to another variant, the Don Papa Sherry Cask. Okay, I have read up on. I did my homework and I've read up on the sherry cask, and this is a complex uh, process of transfer barreling. You know, and these have been aged 4 years in American oak, 18 months in four types of sherry oak casks. Now, I'm a rather lover of sherry, and I love the different variants of sherry, especially the darker or amber kinds of sherries. And these have been all transferred to four types of sherry. The oak casks are Fino, there is cream sherry, and my two favorite sherries, which is Palo Cortado, which is the very nutty dry sherry, and the Pedro Jimenez, which is the super sweet, syrupy, dark sherry. Okay, let's take a look at the nose of this sherry cask. Mm. You immediately can detect that the sherry casks are just present there. There's this total essence of sherries, the oxidative character of sherries. This is a conglomeration of Mediterranean dried fruits, raisins, prunes, figs, yeah, dates, dried fruit, dark dried fruit. There's a you as I mentioned, you have the light hints of an oxidative character due to the sherry cask maturation. Okay? First impression is dark ripe plums and figs. Moving into the dried fig characters with light touches of umami from dried prunes. This seems to have imbibed the expression of Pedro Ximenez and cream barrel characters. Cream sherry is a favorite among the British, and yeah, and you have the light, nutty, dark chocolate, which could have been inherited from the Palo Cortado casks. I'm looking for the hazelnut, but I can get the nutty characters that could have been inherited from Palo Cortado, and some chocolate. The sherry hints of this particular rum are immediately tasted because there is a light character of rancho. There is rancho, which is present in a lot of sherry age oak whiskeys or spirits, and you can detect the degree of rancio that is here on this sherry cask. These distinct Jerez characters are balanced by, yeah, Don Papa's, of course, their signature flavors of American oak. Um, Basically, you have ex-bourbon barrels like creaminess and freshly sawn wood that comes as secondary and tertiary flavors. This would be really wonderful in cold and rainy evenings. I won't be surprised if these marry well with well-aged, cigars. I would love this rum neat. You can enjoy it ice, but I would prefer this neat. Now, let's move on to our last variant. This is the Don Papa rye aged rum. Okay, this was brought out only for the American market. And since the American market has been experiencing a renaissance in homegrown or regional spirits like rye and American whiskey, it was only logical for Don Papa to bring out and honor the American spirits. So they used ex-rye barrels made of American oak. And this has been aged for years in ex-rye barrels. The color is lighter. Beautiful amber color, almost like a 10 to 12-year-old whiskey. Very fresh aroma. The alcoholic proof of this, you've got to let it settle for a while. We're talking of an ABV an ABV of 45. So this is the strongest Don Papa rum edition that has come out, and only because of the logic that it is, they try to honor the strength of rye, which is a very powerful spirit, and much like its real counterpart. In terms of alcohol content, it's not stinging at all, but you can really feel the alcohol on your nose. On the aromas, you have pungent spices, a lot of white pepper, a back aroma of black, crushed black pepper, freshly sawn wood. There is a light toastiness on the nose. Okay, now let's taste it. That's for a 90 proof rum. That is absolutely smooth. Though this is the driest, I believe this is one of the driest among the Don Papa rum line. It's also the lightest in color. It really looks much like a young rye, or probably a 12-year-old American whiskey with a mid-aging statement. Not an old whiskey. Okay, it's herbaceous. There's a lot of fresh leafy herbs, fragrant wood such as sandalwood, cedar, probably some manly perfume like agarwood. These are the strongest wood aromas I can detect, and you can even feel it on your palate. These flavors such as the cedar, touches of caramel and stone fruit. This edition it's got it's got a lot of manliness, a lot of machismo. It's drier, the alcoholic content is higher. Okay, it's created not only for sipping, but it makes a really good shooter with warmth, and there's lesser burn on the throat. It's absolutely smooth. Okay, clean finish. Then as it goes down and as the warmth mellows down, you get a creamy mocha palate, a creamy mocha flavor that lingers on your palate. As I look at it, and at these recent innovative variants, it is impressive to see that a Philippine rum like Don Papa has had its glassfuls of praises and criticisms from the first edition, but has continued to grow and mystify and carve and impress those who appreciate an innovative Filipino rum. Among these 6, I have my favorites. And do drop me a message, and do drop me, and you can subscribe to my channel. Let me ask you, when you taste these rums, what's your favorite? I'll be lighting up now. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much. And I hope that you will subscribe to my food channel, The Kitchen Scoundrel.